Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's question comes from a house cleaner who was in the middle of cleaning someone's house when her vacuum broke. And so she wants to know, what am I supposed to do when my vacuum breaks in the middle of a job? I was stranded. Okay, so the answer is you have to think on your feet. Do you have a backup vacuum? Now, the answer is most house cleaners do not have a backup vacuum that they carry around in their car. So it's not as simple as running out to your car and grabbing the backup vacuum and coming in and finishing the job. But it happens, and it happens on a regular basis. So the answer is you may want to consider having a backup vacuum. The backup vacuum does not have to be expensive. If you've gone with a $300 or a $400 vacuum, the backup vacuum can be a cheap $50 vacuum that you keep at your business. And in the event that something happens and you can't borrow the customer's vacuum, maybe you need to go back and pick it up from your office. Now, the reality is I've chosen to always work close to where I live. So the backup vacuum is at my house. And there are times over the last however many years where the vacuum has broken or something's got caught in the vacuum and I'm unable to vacuum, or the suction stops, or something weird happens and I have to literally stop, run down the street and go grab the vacuum and come back. Now, that is not the first preference. The first preference is to continue on without interrupting your job, because if you stop the job and you have to leave the premise, now you have to come back, and whatever time you're gone is going to eat into your profits. So I have had to do this on numerous occasions as well, where I say to my customer, listen, my vacuum just broke. Now, I normally would not use your vacuum, but would it be okay if I use your vacuum to finish this project? Now, a lot of times, if I'm not using the customer's vacuum already, it's because their vacuum is awful. This is probably an old, awful vacuum that doesn't have very good suction. And so when you're in the middle of a project and you have to go back to that crappy vacuum, a lot of times it alerts the customer, oh, wow, I can see all the carpet that she did here and that looks amazing. Then she used my vacuum and this doesn't look so great. I think I might need a new vacuum. And so it's an opportunity for you to help your customers up-level their equipment if they have a 15 or a 20-year-old vacuum that now no longer is picking up anything. I had a woman who had a vacuum and I had to use her vacuum. And the only way it would pick up is if you used the hose attachment. The regular vacuum part of it did not have any suction whatsoever, which suggested there was something clogged in there, but I didn't want to spend all my free time fixing her broken vacuum. That's not what I was being paid to do. And so if you're very crystal clear about what you're doing, I put the little attachment on it, it's this big, and now I'm trying to vacuum her floor with that. She's like, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Okay, I agree. What are my options? Because the vacuum is not working and my vacuum is clogged or it's broken or something. Now we're using your vacuum. The next time I came back to her house, she had a brand new vacuum. So there are times that your vacuum will break. And this is in the middle of a job after you've already done your clearing out of your inventory and you've checked your equipment and everything was working properly when you get on the job. But there are times that your vacuum will break mid-job. And so you need to have a backup of some sort. And the first preference is to borrow the customer's. And if the customer has a really crappy vacuum, you might just have to say, listen, this is the best I can do for today. Would you like me to sweep the floor? And they might say, no, it's fine. I'll go get a better vacuum. Or they might say, no, we'll just call it even. You're going to always try to have working proper equipment with you. But in the event that it fails on you in the middle of a job, you have to think on your feet and either go get your backup or you have to use the customer's vacuum. So those would be my two suggestions. It's not ideal when it happens, but it will happen. It will happen sooner or later. And then the next thing that I should mention really quick is tag out your broken equipment. If you have a broken vacuum, don't run for 3 or 4 days with no vacuum. That's not a good business process. So if a vacuum breaks, it needs immediately to go into the shop. So if you don't have a vacuum shop right now, get online. Find one that is near where you are, because sooner or later your vacuum will break. And that's not the time to be calling around and looking for recommendations and all that stuff. Have somebody in your back pocket that you can pick up the phone and call and say, listen, my vacuum broke. I'm on my way over right now. I need it done by tomorrow. And then on your way leaving from that house, Drop your vacuum off so that it's ready for you by tomorrow, because this is your business. And so you need working equipment in order to operate your business. Alrighty, so until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.